I'm joined by an old friend, Jonathan Williams. He is president and chief economist of the American Legislative Exchange Council. That would be ALEC, TUALEC.org. And Jonathan is my dear friend and nemesis because he's from that state up north. And every April 15th, ALEC puts out Rich States, Poor States, which you can get a copy of for free at richstatespoorstates.org. And for years and years, Jonathan and I have been doing this for years and years. He's put the thumb on the scale for Michigan. So, Jonathan, let's just start there. Shall we compare Michigan and Ohio? I've got my little richstatespoorstates.org map up, and I look over here at Ohio. By the way, it's good to see you. How are you?
Great to see you, friend. Doing well. And I was actually just talking about you at the U.S. Capitol today. We had the launch event with our Utah delegation in town, and I knew that we were going to have some fun with some good Big Ten sports banter here with Michigan and Ohio State.
Did Utah win again? Are they the rich state number one again?
Yeah, they sure are. 19 years running, and we had the Speaker of the House, Mike Schultz, and the Senate President, Stuart Adams, and all the members of the Utah House congressional delegation with us there at the Capitol, and about 45 Utah legislators celebrating this really monumental streak that they've had. And they're going full bore towards 20 years at number one. And we're going to be hosting the ALEC annual meeting out there in Salt Lake. So we're going to have a big party for Utah if that actually happens here next year.
You got to be careful. The Florida delegation is just going to en masse come and mug you someday because they're always number two. And they're like Avis. They're going to come get John. John's an economist. He's a serious student of the economies of these 50 states. But let's check out wonderful Ohio. What's its ranking this year? Economic Outlook rank 15th. Economic Performance rank 34th. Not very good. But let's go look at Michigan, shall we? Michigan, Economic Outlook rank 32nd. Economic Performance rate 35th. For the first time in the years we've been doing this, the Buckeyes have beaten the Wolverines, Jonathan. An honest man. Thank you.
I knew you're going to be on cloud nine today, Hugh, as we talked about this, but it is really a tale of two states this year is one of our key storylines, which is the biggest improvement of any state came in Ohio, and going from 25th to 15th in a jump of 10 spots, where Michigan was actually the state that lost the most ground this year, losing 13 spots and going down there below average. And so just a massive difference in the way that those two states have been governed in recent years. And you juxtapose the great flat tax that we've talked about, 2.75% on personal income there in Ohio now, led by President McCauley and so many of his great colleagues in the Ohio General Assembly, and what Michigan has done. And, thank God, by the way, for Michigan and Matt Hall, a Speaker of the House, who has been on the show many times.
Oh, yeah.
If it wasn't he and his House members, Michigan would be in the bottom 10 right now. I guarantee it. Because of the Whitmer administration and the progressives in the Michigan Senate. But it is a really telling day now that Ohio has taken this place. The other thing, Hugh, that is so important to note is the historical piece of Rich States, Poor States. As you know well, when you go to richstatespoorstates.org, you not only see where you rank in your current edition, you see all 19 editions. And Ohio started, and you probably remember this, Hugh, Ohio started at 47th for Economic Outlook. In the first edition, and here you are, all-time best record of 15th, and I'm convinced you're on your way to the top 10. But here's the thing, we all got to worry Wolverines and Buckeyes together. We got to worry about the Hoosiers because once again they are the top 10, and Indiana is really beginning to turn a corner when it comes to this net in-migration and some of the great things that they're seeing.
Yeah, but people still have to live there. I'm joking. Let's look at my two other states of concern. We are Virginians. Virginia is ranked in its economic outlook only 31, and its performance is 21, which suggests that the change in Richmond from Glenn Youngkin to Abigail Spanberger is very bad indeed. It could even be worse than that next year.
Yeah, I think it will. And one thing to just note, as you remember, but listeners and viewers may not, is this cuts off as of January 1st. So any of the damage that was done in Virginia this session or in states this session, better or for worse, the changes are not captured yet in this rich states, poor states ranking. And so all the big government things that we saw that I know it's still in deliberation in Richmond right now, what Governor Spanberger will sign and what she will veto, that all will be added up to the tally when we see the next edition of Rich States, Poor States in 2027. So TBD a little bit when it comes to Virginia, but obviously very big bad ideas being talked about in Richmond this year.
Two more states I want to cover. One is Maine because I have family up there and I spend so much time. Sadly, its economic outlook is 44th among 50 states, and its economic performance is 17 because it's only got 1.1 million people, but they're not doing what they need to do to keep up. Then I want to go over to, I always get new affiliates, John. Hickory, North Carolina joined last week, WHKY Talk Radio, 1290 AM, 102.3 FM. I've never looked at North Carolina before, so I pull it up and I'm astonished. It is fourth in the economic rank and it's ninth in the outlook. They've snuck up on everybody.
Yeah, they really did. It's a great turnaround story. It's one that I think needs to be told and retold in that 10, 15 years ago before conservatives took over the legislature after 150 years of liberal control. You add North Carolina middle of the pack. And here you are today with North Carolina, the fourth best economic outlook in America, huge in migration, huge job creation, and they're just getting started. I mean, you continue to see the progress that they've made, whether it's school choice and economic freedom, kind of that magic combo that we talk about a lot on the show, Hugh. But look at the business taxes and just some of the big investments that they've been getting from job creators coming in. The business tax rate at the end of this decade in North Carolina, Hugh, zero. They're going to have zero corporate income tax at the end of the decade. Talk about an economic development strategy. You don't have to have these handouts and giveaways like a lot of states do. You can just say, come on into North Carolina for no business taxes. That's a pretty good strategy.
Jonathan, did you in fact add in school choice this year? Were you able to put that in as a metric of your measurement?
Not yet. We're still absolutely going to consider that for when we hit 20 and we can kind of rethink the rankings going forward. But whether we measure it directly or not, we know that it's a huge factor for families. And when you combine the good tax policies and common sense regulatory policies that we're seeing in some of these states with the education freedom side, which is exactly what Utah does. And that's one of the secrets to their success is one of the most pro-family states in America and the most economically free. That's a combo that's really difficult to beat.
So, Jonathan, I want to wrap up by telling our new listeners, our new affiliates, ALEC, if you're a state legislator or on their staff, you really want to belong to the American Legislative Exchange Council. It's nonpartisan, it's wonky, it's fun. Is it growing, Jonathan? Are you getting new people from North Carolina, for example, figuring out this is where you get your model policies?
You better believe it. North Carolina is a powerhouse state and continues to grow. In fact, we'll be in Raleigh here in a couple of weeks to put together a policy boot camp for the legislators and continue to bring in new members as we are all across the country.
And finally, richstatespoorstates.org. You'll send them a free copy, won't you?
We will do that. Encourage everybody to check it out here for tax week.
And the reason I bring that up, every time you put that in a guest bedroom, everybody who comes from out of state, they all go and look at it. It's like flies to the light, moths to the screen. If you put Rich States, Poor States out there, it's a fun book. It's always well produced, and it always comes out on April 15th. Jonathan, good to see you again. I look forward to next year when we increase our lead over Michigan. That's all I care about, really, is that Ohio increase. You got a governor's race. It could turn around, right? It could turn around.
Could be John James, and we're talking about really competing again. But once again, we got to watch those Hoosiers, not just football. They're out there to beat us.
I know Mike Braun is a serious business guy. Jonathan Williams, President, CEO, and Chief Economist of ALEC. Thank you, my friend. Go to ALEC or go to richstatespoorstates.org. That's the direct way. You can see the interactive map. You can see where your state ranks, but get the book. Your guests will love it.